Hello, this is Russ Cosentino from Zoomdata, and this afternoon I'm going to talk about Zoomdata's capability to support Spark in-memory analysis. Now this process begins by configuring a Spark cluster. Now that cluster could be internal to the Zoomdata server or an external cluster. Then it comes to configuring which version of CDH and the amount of memory and validating the connection. Once that connection has been established, we look to connect a data source, such as my data sales, from S3 into the Spark connector. Once that's done and I update my value separator and hit preview, I get a list of all the fields that exist within this data set. My next step is to look at the fields and confirm the fields are properly spelled, and then I can associate visualizations with those fields. So let's summarize what we've accomplished so far. We've activated a Spark instance that's local to the Zoomdata server, but Zoomdata server also supports external Spark servers. And then we've taken our data in S3 and loaded it into Spark for analysis. So as users interact with the data, they're interacting the data through the Zoomdata server and ultimately the Spark instance. So let's go ahead and look at a visualization, and we'll open up a bar chart with the S3 data. It has over 40 million rows of data being analyzed in Spark, and it currently groups by product category, but we'll change the group by to state. And when we do that, the horizontal bar will redraw itself. And notice as I hover over, I get a count of the volume of records in California. And when I did the drill down, I'm now looking at it by state. I can continue to apply filters, and I can add in a filter for income and select a couple of income levels and apply that to the visualization. And now the visualization will update to reflect the new income levels within the data set. As a user, I can also add in more dashboards and visualizations, so I'm going to add in a donut into this view, and again, change it to gender. So I'm looking at the distribution of data by gender in this dashboard. I can add in another visualization, and this time I'll add in a tree map, and I'll change the group by to income level, and you'll see all the way to the right the 25 to 50,000 income level is the biggest group. And the last visualization I'll add into this dashboard is a timeline, and this timeline is tracking sales currently by volume, but I'll change it to actual and planned sales and find an average number, and you can see that the chart updates accordingly. And with Zoomdata and its responsive design, I can continue to add in more visualizations, and this time I'll add in a scatter plot. And with the scatter plot, I can change my two dimensions of the x and the y axis. Now that we've built out our dashboard, we'll conduct an analysis where we'll use the cross visualization filters to filter all the visualizations on the income level of $25,000 to $50,000. I can then go to the scatter plot and I can filter all the visualizations based on books, and notice how all the visualization graphs updates as I make these changes in the filters. I can zoom in on books and maybe select the product category and show all the product categories in the scatter plot. Now, since I'm only showing a concentration of dots, I'll go ahead and open it up and I'll highlight those sections of dots, and you can see how the dots then spread themselves across the visualization. So let's continue our analysis using a table within Zoomdata, and all 40 million rows are going to load into the table. And notice when I hit the sort under volume how quickly the table redraws with the latest information. I can also configure the table and add in gender. I can also apply filters. So maybe what I want to do is analyze the data on gender and only look at females. Once I hit apply, the tables will update accordingly. If I want to move the columns and rows, I simply drag income over to the row, and we'll see the income level now added to the table as a row, and I can also add in planned sales and satisfaction to the volume that's already being recorded. And also note that at the bottom of the table, the total for volume is also calculated within this data set. With Zoomdata, you can also page through all of the records, and you can also export all the information, not only a PNG and a PDF, but you can also export all the data into Excel. So this concludes our overview of Spark in-memory analysis within Zoomdata. This is Russ Cosentino, and I'd like to thank you for your time.